It's the Out of Nazareth Podcast. Yalla, Habibis.
Hey, what's up, guys? All right, Out of Nazareth. My first official recording of a podcast. Yeah, so this is our family room, our salon. I have some artwork from a dear friend of mine, Banna, that graces our sitting area and the couch. I figure, I'll sit on the couch like this when I do alone, and then we can have, when I want to do interviews, we can sit with multiple people. But yeah, I figured, as I'm already even talking about it, I figured that the first podcast, the first recording should be what this podcast is and why am I doing it. And yeah, so what's up? Yeah, my name is Zach Miller. I'm originally from Virginia, Northern Virginia, Fairfax County, Loudoun County area. And I've lived in a lot of different places, but the past decade of my life has been connected to the Holy Land, specifically living in Nazareth for about 7 years. And currently I live in Haifa. We are in our home in Haifa. Me and I live with a dear friend of mine who's become like a brother. His name is Sadi Khalil. He'll for sure be on this podcast a bunch. But living in the Holy Land as an American, so as an expat living abroad, and when people come here and locals, they're always like, why do you live here? Locals are like, are you crazy? You come from America and you chose to come to this like really tense, difficult, expensive, faraway place. And you're not like even from this culture. I have no Jewish blood, no Palestinian blood. So that's their side of the questioning. And then when foreigners come and visit, like Americans, or I get to know some people as I give tours or just around the country, and we'll talk more about that, what I do here. But they're wondering, like, why do you live in the Holy Land as well? Why did you leave where you're from? So today's episode and the first entry will be about, like, what is this and why am I doing it? And so the idea Out of Nazareth came when I think I'd been here for about 4 or 5 years, and I had gotten the same questions over and over and over about, like, what's it like to live here? What have you learned? How has it changed you? General excitement. Like, this is so cool that you get to live here. Tell me about it. So initially I was like, I'll write a book and then people can read that, and specifically for people not from here. So initially it was like a book idea, and then I kept living, COVID happened and all that. And also I express myself, I think better over a speaking medium than a writing medium. But then, in the last, I'd say 6 months to a year, I started to think about, what if it was like a podcast? I watch some YouTubers myself and listen to podcasts while I work. So I was like, okay, I could make a podcast. Podcasting isn't really a big thing yet here in the Middle East, but I know the States and Westerners use podcasting a little bit more. But and with equipment becoming a little bit cheaper and the software becoming a little bit more user friendly for those who aren't experienced, like, okay, I could maybe do this podcast thing. So the Out of Nazareth podcast is me sharing my experience here, answering questions. But then another, and I guess moving into the why now, another really big piece of it is I want people not from here to meet the people from here. Me personally, so I come from a faith background, a Christian background, and have worked in ministry with youth here, and it's been a big piece of my life. And so it's interacting with other Christians, especially at first. Lots of Christians come to the Holy Land for pilgrimages and to see, the land that Jesus walked and the stories where the stories of the Bible took place. And so a lot of them get to tour and see sites, but also I think a huge piece of this is meeting the people. Me personally, I've gotten to be in Europe, Africa, here in the Middle East, and America so far, and gotten to meet other Christians from all of those areas. And it's so cool to me to connect people who have, similar beliefs, and to connect what I believe, people of the kingdom of God. So especially for here, as Christians come and they don't really get to meet the people because they're on the tour bus at the site, back on the tour bus at the hotel, I wanted to do interviews. And basically how I've gotten to learn about this place and the people here, getting to talk to them, I wanted to provide that for somebody who might not get the chance to come, or maybe somebody even who did come and was like, wow, that was amazing. I want to learn and more about the place or the culture, and, meet some of the people. So that's kind of the why, that is the why behind why I'm doing this, to get to share my stories, give you an American perspective living here in the Holy Land. Some people I've gotten to get to know from all over the spectrum of communities, from Christian, Muslim, Jew to Arab, Jew, Druze, Ethiopia, who knows, man. I'm so excited to see where this podcast could go, and the conversations that I'll get to have. And it's also a place, I think, for me to catalog a lot of these experiences. It'll be fun to be able to go back on YouTube and see where I was. One of the things I've done over my past, let's say 11 years, is journaling. I usually try to journal once a month because there's so much that goes on in our lives, and there's a lot of little details. So I'll try to write down once a month what's going on, what I've been thinking about or praying about, or what I've been struggling with, or things to praise and rejoice for. So it's fun to go back and see how I grew, what mattered to me, prayers that were answered, things that didn't go my way, but how I learned from them. So this, I think, is the next level, or a step up from just writing in a journal. One, it'll be for me, and as well, it's really fun to just have these conversations recorded with friends. And then it can be a place of entertainment or information that others can come to. I'm just really stoked about it. So hopefully you'll get some of some new stuff as this, hopefully, a community grows. We'll get to interact more and more. And that's the what and the why behind why the Out of Nazareth podcast. And I guess I have to mention it. Leish. That's the Arabic word for why. Why Out of Nazareth as the name? Well, there's this famous passage in the Bible, and it's really lame that right now I'll have to put it as a headline down here. Famous passage in the Bible of Nathaniel and Philip, two disciples of Jesus. Philip is the disciple, and he goes to get his friend Nathaniel because he's like, hey, this guy, he's pretty cool. You got to come meet him. And in this interaction, Nathaniel is like, wait, you think you found the Messiah? The one from the Old Testament that the prophets speak about that's going to save Israel? This is a big moment. You really think you found him? And here's a little tidbit of info that I'll get to share. Culturally, back then, the Jewish people were waiting for their Messiah, yeah, but they're not expecting a carpenter, a regular Joe, Joseph, hey, a regular Jesus. They're expecting like someone with power, military figure, political type figure who can rid them of Roman oppression that exists and restore Israel to its former glory back when they were, ruling this land with kings and whatnot. So in this interaction, when Philip goes, hey, dude, we found the Messiah. Come and see. That's another great line is, you want to know for yourself? Come check it out. But then Nathaniel's like, really? Like, where is he from? Jerusalem? One of the main cities. Is he from, I don't know, Caesarea on the beach? Where is he from? This big note. And Philip goes, yeah, he's from Nazareth. And Nathaniel's like, wait, Nazareth? Because Nazareth was this podunk, small, not important little town. It only had like 400 to 500 people. But so it was nothing. It was not important. It was not major. It wasn't even on maps. And so Nathaniel's like, wait a second. You're telling me like the one who saves, Yeshua, God who saves, is from Nazareth? What good can come out of Nazareth? And Philip says, yeah, come and see. So the Out of Nazareth is about how, I got to live in Nazareth. Jesus was from Nazareth. And I got to see all the amazing things and meet so many amazing people that have come from Nazareth. So just a little play on the Bible verse with my experience. People will be getting to meet the Out of Nazareth podcast. So you guys are great. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for tuning in to the first ever recording. And God bless y'all. Cheers. Have a great day.